Alright, here we go. We're going to continue discussing the CNSS security model. Hopefully you had a little bit of a break from the first 6 attacks we talked about, and we're going to be working that middle column now. So, man-in-the-middle attack is one of these attacks which says if I'm trying to go from point A to point C, and I happen to be the person at point B in between A and C, I can listen in to everything, and I could even change some things that came through me, or I could turn off the link and A couldn't talk to C. So a man-in-the-middle attack is that type of an attack where point A is trying to talk to point C, and someone in between that transmission path, point B, can either attack the confidentiality, integrity, or availability of that information that's passing through it. Okay, the next attack on the list there is called a DNS attack, and DNS stands for Domain Name Server. And if you think about it, when you're typing in an address into a web browser, you know, something like www.gsu.edu, that has to be translated into a IP address, which is what the computers use to actually talk between themselves. IP stands for Internet Protocol. So DNS is just that mapping of some English-like name, www.gsu.edu, into a IP address. And if you can attack the DNS servers, then you control everything. Because basically, even if you typed in www.gsu.edu, I could send you to my site, to an internet address that's my site in China, or Russia, or Afghanistan, and take control of your computer where it's a very bad site. So DNS attacks are against those very critical servers that map the more human-like names and URLs into IP addresses. TCP IP Handshake Attack refers to a type of attack. TCP stands for Transport Control Protocol, and IP is Internet Protocol. But there are two components of the dominant network protocol stack that's used for computers to talk back and forth to each other. And when they do a handshake between two computers, when they're trying to set up a circuit between them to talk back and forth, there is a three-way handshake that takes place. And there are certain attacks that can be used that can exploit that three-way handshake so as to create an attack vector for attacking one or both of the computers. So that's what TCP IP Handshake Attack. It's taking advantage of some protocol limitations protocol limitations associated with that three-way handshake and establishing a network connection. Keystroke Logger, that's where you install a piece of software on your computer, and you use that piece of software to capture every single keystroke that the person makes. In older days, when we had typewriters around, people would actually measure the sound. They'd actually use sonic sensors to actually detect the sound so that they could recreate what was being typed on the typewriter. But these days everybody's got computers and they have programs. They can run programs, so it's just a program that tracks all those keystrokes. Social engineering says, enough of this technical stuff. All I need to do is pretend to be that tech guy or pretend to be an employee, and people will tell me everything. Everything. And so, as I mentioned in the earlier videos, inside attacks are the most dominant form of attack. Social engineering is rapidly gaining, and one day maybe or may already be the dominant form of attack. So social engineering is calling you on the telephone and seeing if you're dumb enough to give them your username and password as that the attacker pretends to be from the tech department, or doing other sorts of things associated with socially engineering the information out from you. Alright, the last attack we're going to talk about in this particular video, and in that middle column of our chart here, is a sniffer attack. And basically what this means is that as you're transmitting across the network, if you don't have that network link encrypted, everybody, and I mean everybody, can see that traffic as it's going by. So if you don't have your wireless network at the house encrypted, or if I can break it, it's trivial for me to find a piece of software called Sniffer software and sit there and watch every single piece of information that you send back and forth, including your username and password and all sorts of other things. So that's what a sniffer attack refers to, and lots of public networks are very vulnerable to these types of attacks. Alright, well, look at that. We've covered 6 more types of attacks. We've got 6 left to go, and then we're going to start looking at what we can do to protect ourselves against these various types of attacks. So sniffer, software engineering, very, very dominant. Keystroke Logger, TCP/IP Handshake Attack, very geeky-like. DNS Attack, very geeky-like. And a man-in-the-middle attack, which logically makes a lot of sense and should get you pretty scared if you can route traffic and be somewhere in between. Alright, enough for now. I'm going to go ahead and stop this particular video, and we'll pick up in the next video by looking at the last 6 attacks associated in our countdown of 18 notorious types of attacks.